they just get a haircut during
get a
Saturn returns.
haircut.
They're not really learning that much from the experience. They just change something of their looks.
But it is a one hell of a haircut.
Yeah. It's a good one.
It's a haircut that deserves like its own Instagram profile. Like
Yeah.
Yeah. We have a friend that got a beautiful haircut.
Yeah, she's so beautiful.
She
Great
is
hair.
referred to as the haircut.
Yeah.
Geminis?
Geminis, I'm kind of in it, so I don't know if I can reflect on the Saturn returns with
I
Geminis.
would say the Geminis.
I'm bored of it already.
Geminis, you can't even predict what they're going to do when they go into the mall to get a new t-shirt. Yeah. So how can you know what they'll do in their Saturn return?
Well, actually, and to be honest, I actually don't identify as a Gemini anymore. Just this afternoon, I realized I'm actually a Sagittarius.
It was a very quick decision.
Yeah.
Scorpios. Scorpios are water sign. Obviously, they are very emotional, but sometimes they can be unaware of their emotions. And I think the Saturn return for them is actually admitting a lot of things that they like to not think of or that they like to block, and being honest with with themselves and with people around them. Because Scorpios, yes, you guys are emotional. Yes, you guys are intuitive, but you also have a lot of blockages and a lot of guards up.
And Scorpios, for those who don't know, are known to be very psychic. So I reckon that would also manifest in their Saturn returns. They might become closer to their psychic abilities, or if they repress that, they will suffer deeply.
100%.
So what about Aquarius? I reckon they're loving their Saturn returns. They're just loving chaos, loving change, loving mixing everything up, and it gives them an opportunity to do all the things that they often have a desire to do.
They are an air sign. They love change. They love the intellectual challenge. And Saturn return gives them a chance to go through something meaningful and intellectual. And I think Aquarians are having the best time of their lives.
And Leos, I reckon, because they're kind of ruled by the sun, so every day is basically Saturn returns for them, and every day is a day when they're telling you all about how they've shared this and how they've learned this and how significant this was. And and you're just not listening. I
was just thinking how Leos are like the sun, because the sun is like the cockiest planet, and it comes every morning and it lights everyone's lives, and then a few hours later it just disappears and leaves us all in darkness. And I feel like Leos, that's what they do, and their Saturn return is magnificent to watch.
Wow.
What about your new sign that you just assigned to yourself as Sagittarius?
Well, it is my sign.
Yeah.
It's real. I feel it. Sages can be quite miserable and quite philosophical in their approach to life. So Saturn returns really lends itself quite well to Sagittarians. Another sign that is probably going through Saturn returns quite often. So it's not too dissimilar to their very existence. No,
but I think it's they definitely. Well, they can tend to be miserable, but they're also a fire sign, and they're also one of the light-hearted fire signs. So I think for them, it's a bit of a turbulence in the way that it's a heavy process, but they will get through it. They just need a little bit of hope, and maybe try to be more friendly, Sagittarians.
I feel really attacked by that comment as a Sagittarian. Pisces, sad and beautiful water sign Pisces.
Yeah, well, they definitely, Saturn's going to ask them to deal with their idealism, with their, well, I know you have a Piscean friend that went to Syria to volunteer?
No, I don't think they went there, but they wanted to. Okay. But I think most Pisces probably go to Syria during that time.
Yeah, I think maybe that's why it's maybe that's why Syria is like such in such a bad condition, because it's filled with Pisceans.
Yeah.
But basically, Pisces need to deal with their constant need to help others, and I think also to put themselves first.
Like in the Australian context, they're moving to the Northern Territory, but, if they're overseas, then they're moving to Syria.
Definitely. Capricorns, you guys are ruled by Saturn, which means your struggle is real, but also you, I would say, one of the most capable signs.
Yeah, you prevail. Capricorns just deal with it in a dignified, graceful manner, and they've been preparing their whole life to go through their quarter life crisis. And they deal with it magnificently.
Virgos, another earth sign, from Capricorn to Virgo. Virgos are earth. The thing about Virgo that everyone makes fun of them is that they have OCD, which is a common mistake. They don't have OCD, they have high standards. They have high unachievable standards. That's why the moment that I realized that my Pilates teacher was a Virgo, I realized that I will never be able to satisfy or to ever reach a standard that she puts there as a Pilates teacher. And I started doing yoga. So I think Virgos, they're freaking out because Saturn returns for them and they realized I didn't meet any of the criteria that I put up for myself. I didn't get to the standards, and their challenge is to say, okay, I'm not going to be perfect. I'm going to accept my whatever it is that I have in my life and start from there.
Have you ever seen a Virgo to do that? I don't think I can remember a Virgo saying, look, I'm going to lower my standards a bit.
No,
they
but
just
that's why they're
quietly have a quiet rage. They're like, no,
true.
I will meet those standards eventually.
It's true.
Yep. But there are some lovely ones too, of course. Taurus, look, we should talk about the Taurians because we did not talk about them this whole episode, which was meant to be the Taurus episode. So I reckon Tauruses are sealing the deal. They are locking everything down. So everything in their life that they possess, they're just putting a down payment on a home. They are, having a fake pregnancy to their partner to like lock it in, down. Put a ring on it. Like they were like, we need to like clamp down.
Yeah. And I think the difference is whether Capricorns worked hard and now they're reaping the benefits, and Taurus didn't work at all and now they're just trying to quickly get everything they can happen. And as like Taurus is ruled by Venus and they're very sensual and they love all the good earthy things, I think Saturn return for them is actually, as you said, like achieving all these possessions. And last but definitely not least, Aries. What do we do?
What do you do? What are you doing?
Okay, so Aries, as we know already, very goals oriented, like to achieve, like to win. I think for an Aries, it's very difficult to go to Saturn return because, socially they're 30. It's kind of like, oh, what have I done? How do I become an adult? They want to be the like eternal child.
Can I still wear sneakers all the time and tracksuit pants?
Exactly. Should I buy this leopard print jumper or like?
Do I still have to have a tragus piercing and a piercing, or is that not cool anymore?
I always wanted to have a threesome before 30. All these normal things that every person wants to do. And I think for an Aries, it's a struggle. It's a time to check your bucket list and be like, I have to achieve all of this by 30. But what Saturn asks of the Aries is, hold on, it's okay. You can finish Saturn return and still be a child in your way. So I think for Aries, don't try to defy it.
I think Drake sums it up pretty good in his lyrics. Just hold on, we're going home.
Oh, what a beautiful line.
I know, it's pretty deep.
So Saturn return, well, I think we should end this episode with a very, with good luck, basically.
Good luck. Hopefully
everyone.
You get through it. I think we've done pretty well. And for those who have been through it, you get to revisit this stage when you turn about 60. So we all get to go through the transformation. It's exciting. It's an opportunity to learn, to grow, and to develop, and to also watch those around you struggle. So wherever you're sitting with it, just enjoy the ride.
So thank you for tuning in to another episode. If you like what you're hearing, make sure to follow us on Instagram at Astrology Roast, and to tune in next week to another episode of Astrology Roast.